Okay, our next speaker is very, very special that he's here. If you watch TV, you know there's a lot happening in Washington, D.C., a lot happening in Congress. We happen to have a congressman who, what did he win with, 79% or something? But a real steady hand of government, somebody who goes down and fights for the people, and he's come back to the district to tell us what's happening there. So please welcome Congressman Elliot Engel.
Thank you very much, and let me say that I'm very delighted to be here, and I want to also thank Prudential Rand, and I also want to extend greetings of my good friend and colleague Nita Lowey, Congresswoman Nita Lowey, who was not able to be here tonight because she's ill. She had planned on being here and called me earlier, so I extend greetings for her, and I know that whatever I say goes double for her because we've worked together very, very closely and both have the honor to represent parts of Rockland County. I want to welcome you to my congressional district, the 17th District. Many of you live here, and as our county executive said, this is a wonderful place in which to live, and we don't want to drive anybody out of Rockland County. We want to drive no one out of their homes, and we want to do everything possible to keep people in their homes. Congress has passed a lot of legislation. Some of it good, some of it bad, some of it we're hoping that we're doing the right thing, but I know that everybody understands that we are facing an economic crisis in this country unlike anything that we've seen in our lifetimes. We used to read in our textbooks about the Great Depression in 1929, and I think none of us ever thought that there was a potential that we could live through something like that again, and yet unfortunately that potential is here. We hope it won't be as bad as the Depression. We think it won't be, and we think that Congress is going to pass legislation, has passed some, and will obviously have to pass more in the future to shore up our economic viability, because this is all tied in. Our economic problems began with the housing crisis, and it's permeated virtually into everything. I mean, who would ever have thought that banks would collapse? Just about a month ago, we were hearing that Citibank was going to buy Wachovia, and now we know that Citibank itself was in great danger of going under and needs to be shored up by government loans. I'm all for shoring up the banks. I'm all for shoring up the Detroit auto industry. I think that we cannot let the banks go under or the auto industry go under. But I am not for shoring them up to the neglect of the individual taxpayers, individual homeowners. I think that government has an obligation to do everything possible to keep people in their homes. Now, I know it's a balancing act, and let me be honest with you, because those of us in Washington that want to make sure that everyone is allowed to stay in their homes get hit back with people that say, well, you know, there were people during this crisis who were responsible. You know, they purchased the loans, the 30-year fixed-rate mortgages. They did what the responsible thing was. Other people may not have been so responsible, and is it really fair to help people who were not responsible, and actually people who were responsible don't get any help, and so you're actually hurting those that did the right thing? Well, in a vacuum, that might be true, but I think that we're not in a vacuum. When we are talking about people's lives and keeping people in their homes, to me, it doesn't really matter the circumstances. And we know that a lot of people were duped, a lot of people were lied to, a lot of people were told, sign on the dotted line, don't worry about it. A lot of people who didn't make enough money to cover the mortgage payments were given very tiny mortgages, and then suddenly they ballooned after 2 years. Some people may have thought that, well, if my mortgage balloons, I'll sell my house, I'll make a killing, I'll flip it, I'll get out. And then, of course, what we find is that people owe more money, and if they're being foreclosed on, they want to get out of their house. And if they sell their house, they won't make enough money. They'll lose money on the house, and they won't even get back any of the money that they owe. And so that's the problem. And it's not just an individual problem, keeping individual people in their houses, which, again, we all want to do. But if houses people are foreclosed on, and you take a neighborhood, and this house goes and the house across the street goes, well, it depresses the property values of all the houses. So this isn't only a crisis that affects those people who may be booted out of their homes. It affects all of us. and we have to do something to change it. We have to do something to help change it. Now, Congress has passed a few laws which I think are a good step in the right direction, but frankly, I think we still have a long, long way to go.